This video is a short video just because I have a commenter who thinks that the Carlos Xavier debate was a loss for me. Well, maybe. Just depends on what you think a loss is. If Carlos Xavier did a good job exegeting passages and looking at the time statements and looking at the what the apostles believed, what Jesus taught, what Jesus believed, right? What did the first century audience believe? And if he's ignoring all those things when he's exegeting a passage, then I don't think that's a loss. I think that's a win for me. Why? Because I believe that that's what the apostles believed. If your view of eschatology is different than Jesus thought the end time, however you want to think that, whatever that means, was going to happen in the first century. He even told his disciples, when they see, when you, plural, talking to the 4 disciples in front of him, when they see, right? Not only that, he also told his enemies, the ones that were crucifying him. Matthew 26:64, from now on. So him coming in the clouds of heaven was a continual thing. It wasn't the ways modern churches teach it. That's the point. Physically return. Well, obviously, he said they would see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. It was an ongoing thing. It wasn't a kind of physical thing where you see a guy in the clouds, Jesus, riding on clouds like a surfboard, okay? It wasn't like that, okay? The way God came in the Old Testament to Egypt, Isaiah 19:1, is the same way God came into Jerusalem in the glory, or the Son of Man coming in the glory of his Father. So you see that. The same way God came in the Old Testament, the Son of Man is coming in the New Testament. And so it's the same way, in the glory of his Father, the same exact way. It wasn't a different way. And so if you ignore the Old Testament passages that teach that God came down to Egypt, God came down into Tyre, into Babylon, and you ignore those passages, and then you reinterpret the coming of Jesus based on an eschatology that the Christian church is popularizing, it doesn't mean you're right. It means that they got it wrong. And I think we should stick with the apostles' interpretation. So if Jesus said it's coming in the first century audience's lifetime, he's not wrong. You are. If the apostles believed that the church in Thessalonica would be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, and he says it's going to happen, some of them there that were not asleep, that are not going to die, then Paul is right. He's inspired. You're not inspired. You're the one who is trying to say that because it didn't happen the way you expected it to be, then it couldn't have happened. No. We have to use proper hermeneutics and allow the Bible to define its own terms. We don't tell the Bible how the coming of the Son of Man is. If Jesus says the coming of the Son of Man would be in that generation and his enemies would see his coming, then that's what it means. You can't have it. You're going to have to buck your tradition in order to understand the Bible properly. You really are. Because if you think the coming of Jesus is a certain specific way, what you see in art, that you see in the movies, that you see in the Left Behind series, then you're going to get it wrong all the time. So let's stick back with the Bible and let the Bible define its own terms. Don't think that the Bible means something other than how the Bible defines it, or else you're going to be caught up with your tradition and you're going to be caught up with popular Christianity. And I'll just say this at the end. Popular Christianity is not biblical Christianity. All right. Thank you for watching. Share, like, and comment. God bless.